Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Lauren, aka Books McD. It's been a long day, my hair's unwashed, and I'm here with a baby Coke. Coffee, read, sleep, repeat, and Coke, pop. Not that kind of Coke. Anyway, so I've started reading books on my physical TBR. Talked about that last time. I have 308 physical books that I need to read that I bought at one time because I was going to read them. We all buy them with good intentions. And then that list got out of hand. I have read three, so that is now down to 305, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. I'm going to review the three I read that were on the list, and then I'm going to pick the next one. This is the book that I picked last time. So I random number generated, picked Death Comes as the End by Agatha Christie. This was good. I mean, the thing about Agatha Christie is she creates these really lovable characters in Hercule Poirot and Miss Marple, and this was just a one-off. It was set in ancient Egypt, and it's like a family, and the father brings home a concubine, and they get murdered. Surprise, surprise. They get murdered. This is a spoiler channel. Okay, we do spoilers here because I don't know how to review without that. I will say, I won't tell you who done it. The concubine, the woman he's going to marry after his wife passed away or whatever, she gets murdered. And the whole family, it's like they all benefit, right? And this is the thing. Agatha Christie is the queen of red herrings, right? And so I saw some reviews where people were like, I guessed it right away. And I'm like, oh, did you? And I mean, look, I don't guess things right away usually, but I did guess the ending or whodunit in The Usual Suspects right away in our very first apartment. My husband and I were watching it, and I was like, it would be so funny if it was that guy. And it was, and I think I actually did a victory lap around the apartment for that one. Recently, I read The Perfect Marriage, and somebody was reading it at like a silent book club meeting that I was at, and she was describing the premise to me, and I was like, wouldn't it be so funny if it was the wife? And she's like, it's not going to be the wife. She's the lawyer. She's defending him. And I'm like, that would be like the perfect reason for it to be. Spoiler alert. I guess that one right away before even picking the book up. So like, I didn't rate that one very high. But yeah, so I've guessed occasionally. I had no idea in this book. Like, Agatha Christie just does such a good job of like pointing you in direction, and I should know by now if she's pointing me there, that's not who it's going to be. But she just does her thing, and I love her for it. You know what I mean? I will never say that an Agatha Christie novel is bad. This one wasn't my favorite because I don't know, I'm just missing that element of like the lovable characters that I've come, to enjoy with Poirot and Miss Marple or whatever. But like, it was fine. It was a good one-off. Would I recommend it? I think it depends if you're a fan of Agatha Christie. I think that she has better. So maybe pick up one of the Poirots or Marples. But that was it. All right. The other one I read, so these next two were like the 5 extras that I had recently purchased. I didn't know how like relatively soon I was going to read them after buying them. So that's why I added them to the physical TBR list. Now I'm trying to be good. Not gonna buy anything unless I'm gonna read it immediately. So like, Okay, this next one, I mentioned in the last video that I got it. I got it to say, and I mentioned it to say that I had already started reading it. I started reading it during the like 24-hour readathon that I do every year or whatever, but I finished it relatively recently. I don't know when I finished it, but I read The Rural Diaries by Hilary Burton Morgan, which is so good. First of all, I'm a fan of One Tree Hill, so that makes me pick it up. I know that she didn't have a good time on One Tree Hill. She has been open about that. There's been a lot of articles on that. I still love the show, and Sophia Bush, and Bethany Joy Lenz are doing like a podcast called Drama Queens right now, where they watch an episode and talk about it. I like want to experience it in that capacity, but it's hard to do the one-on-one, but whatever. So I love her from that, but now I just love her because like, she just seems so cool. So like her and Jeffrey D. Morgan were together. They're married now, but like they weren't initially, and they got together and they moved up to like, I don't know, Farmsville, New York. I think it's called Rhinebeck or whatever. And they just talk about their life together, and they talk about like their misadventures, their adventures, renovating their house, saving a local store, the farm animals that they adopt, and their children, and like what that was like the travel with Jeffrey D. Morgan traveling and Hilary Burton Morgan managing things at home, and like from the farm to like refurbishing the local store, and just having kids and going through like pregnancy loss and things like that. And it's just it's such a good book. It's so well written. I just wanted more. And also it's like peppered with these like recipes that just like dandelion wine and just things like that, which is just super cute. The only thing that maybe I have to say bad about it is that those recipes are placed in like really weird spots. To me, it just makes more sense for them to come at like chapter endings rather than like in the middle of a chapter. I know that it's like maybe it was just mentioned, so we'll put the recipe here, but like I think it would be fine if it was at the end of the chapter or like just before, or I don't know, but like sometimes you're reading, I don't know what it is, but I'm like of the persuasion that like if there's a little text box that's like in a textbook, right, and I'm reading and that text box is there, I'm not gonna like keep reading and then come back, like I'm gonna read it immediately, so I'm like interrupting my flow. This is very picky, but that's the smallest negative thing I have to say about it. I loved it. Oh, I didn't tell you what I rated these. Crap. And I forget, so I have to look it up. Hang on. Okay, I looked it up. So for Death Comes as the End, I give it a 6. If you're new here, I have my own personal rating scale out of 10 where I use half points, and it's based off whether or not I would recommend the book to somebody. So in this case, a 6 is just above average. It's kind of like I have to consider if the person would like it, if they like this style of book, but I like Agatha Christie, so I'm gonna recommend it. It's just not one of her better works to me. So this is a 6. For the Rural Diaries, I loved this. Like I said, those little like recipe interstitials or whatever, they were annoyingly placed. I thought it ended a little abruptly. I wanted more story. Like I want a whole second memoir when she's like 20 years from now, 20 years removed from this one, just to like have her write about her life again. I loved it. I just wanted more. So I gave this an 8.5. And then I read Harlem Shuffle by Colson Whitehead. This is so good. I don't even have anything to say about it. It's weird because I think I said once that like the average books are the hardest to say something about. And I'm like, sometimes a book, it's not like I'm speechless, but he just has a way with words. He is so well written. Like it's okay. So the story follows Ray Carney, and he's just a little bit crooked. He uses his furniture store to kind of move stolen merch, but he doesn't really kind of look at it that way. So that's what he kind of starts with. He's just a little bit crooked. As the story continues, he gets a little bit more and a little bit more crooked, in my opinion. But the thing is, so this book is followed up by Crook Manifesto. Sorry if the desk is shaking, that's my life. So it's followed up by Crook Manifesto, which I want to pick up like right away, but I have like other book club obligations and things, but it was so good. It's set in like the 60s in Harlem, and it talks about like there's class things going on here. The city has like a whole character to it in this particular story, but he's just so good. And I've read the Nickel Boys. I own The Intuitionist, which is on the physical TBR list. The only thing I haven't read, which was very popular, is Underground Railroad, so maybe I have to give that one a shot too. But this is like every now and then you come across an author where you're like, am I about to read everything they've ever written? And I think I am. Like, I think I'm on the way to that because this was just so good. I actually gave this a 9.5 out of 10. So a 10 is a perfect book. 9.5 is like, I literally would recommend it to anybody. It's so like cinematic the way it's written. It's so worth it. I gave it a 9.5 out of 10. I would totally recommend you read it. It's that good. It's that good. It's even a little bit like, oh God, I don't even want to tell you. See, this is one I don't want to spoil. And the thing is there's not a twist. There's not a spoiler. It's just, well, I guess, yeah, there are potential spoilers, but it's just a story about this guy and how he's trying to make a life for himself and his family and what he's willing to compromise to do that. And it's just so well told. And then the next book, it kind of like takes us through the 70s. So the first one's kind of a little bit takes us through different parts of the 60s, and the next one's like the 70s. I don't know where Ray Carney's going to end up, and I'm so curious just to see what's going to happen to him, what decisions he's going to make, you know what I mean, in the future. So Crook Manifesto is the second one. I will let you know when I read that. But yeah, Harlem Shuffle. And also these covers, like, am I right? They're just so good. Oh my God. So I will let you know when I read Crook Manifesto. 9.5 for Harlem Shuffle. Okay? So now I have to random number generate and pick out my next physical TBR book. So we're down to 305 books that I have left to read. We made a dent. We made a little bit of a dent. I'm actually kind of proud of myself. Okay? A little celebratory sip of Tiny Pop. All right. I don't know if I want to do another Agatha Christie right now, so I won't random number generate that shelf, which is shelf number 6. So let me just do 1 through 5. And also, like, if I get a series right now, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I am feeling a little series adventure. It depends, because I have the Wheel of Time up there, and if it's the Wheel of Time, I'm just not today. You know what I mean? Oh my God. Okay, it is shelf 5. That's so funny that I said that. It is shelf 5. That's the series shelf. I can't believe it's, because I actually was like, I'm not going to do a series last time. So it's so kind of, it's funny that it's series this time. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to random shuffle the series. That's really not that hard. And then I'm going to just start with the first one of the series. Although some of these I've read the first one of. Whatever, it's not your problem. I'll figure it out. Maybe I'll just read a synopsis if I've read the first one before. Because, like, we can't go back. We can only go forward, okay? All right, let's random number generate the... I need the random number generator. Let's random number generate the series. Let's see what we're working with. Is that the numbers? Okay. Oh my God. Let's do this. Okay, I didn't wrap any of the books. Like, I wrapped those ones. Jeez, when am I going to get to open one of my fun contemporary fiction ones? But I don't know what series this is. I have to like count on the shelf, so I'll be right back and I'll figure it out. Okay, so I random number generated the series. There's series 11 through 26 on that shelf. And the thing is there are series on that shelf that like I have read, so this was a little dumb. I might need to put like stickies on the first book of each series because I have to skip the ones I've read to count like which. It's a problem that I will work on for next time, okay? But I'm just gonna like clip out the part where I went to find the book anyway, so it's like it doesn't matter. So I just pulled the whole box set because it is Beyonders by Brandon Mull. So this is the box set. It's a trilogy, and the first book is A World Without Heroes. That's book 1. So I don't know anything about this series. I do know that it doesn't want to come out of the box. It does not want to come out of the box. That's the one thing I know about it. What are we going to do? I wanted to show you the book. Son of a biscuit. Okay, it's tweet. She tweet. Okay. Well, I'm never going to get it back in here, but it's fine. So this is book 1. Ooh. Ooh, I hate that and I hate that. Oh, ring light. Hi. Hi. Oh my God. Oh my God. Anyway. Sorry, I get distracted. So the thing is I really like Fablehaven. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Fablehaven, but it's a 5-book series by Brandon Mull. It is fantastic, and not enough people talk about it. It doesn't get enough credit. It's such a fun, like, magical world where these kids go to visit their grandparents. Their grandparents have a preservation for magical creatures because, like, magical creatures are threatened. And there's so many, like, adventures, and then there's, like, a conspiracy to, like, suck all the power out of all the magical creatures of the land or whatever and just, like, control everything. And so they help to fight that battle or whatever. And it's so good. And like nobody talks about it. Like everybody talks about Percy Jackson, everybody talks about Harry Potter, you know what I mean? But nobody talks about Fablehaven. So like Fablehaven is so worth it. And I was like, oh, Brandon Mull should be like another one of those authors that I just read everything of because I love Fablehaven so much. And just, I don't know. I know people have told me, oh my God, I love it too. But like, I don't really hear anybody talk about Fablehaven or Brandon Mull. So I'm like, maybe I should just read all of his stuff too. So I started like slowly, like I have Dragon Watch somewhere also. So, and then like I have the audiobooks for like the Candy Shop. I think that's like a duology or whatever that he wrote. So, and they are a little bit more middle grade, probably not YA, but like, I don't care. Like I can vibe with whatever. So I'm going to check out the first one. I'm going to read this first. And then if I'm vibing with this, I'm just going to keep going. I might read through all 3 and then I'll come back here and tell you guys that I've read 3 more books off my physical TBR. Like at this pace, I'm going to be done in like less than a month. Okay, not really. But, like, I'm just trying to make it a priority in my life. So maybe I'll come back and say that I'm done with the whole box set, and then I'll be able to give you, like, a more full review. Because that's the other thing about... I really, really love to finish a series before I review each of the books into it, whatever, you know what I mean? Because the thing is I just want to know how the story completes. Because books 1 through 3, 1 through whatever might be just amazing or whatever, but then the last book might be such a dud and it just cheapens the whole thing. And I really don't think that like this and this, I don't really think they're going to be duds. But like I did leave a little wiggle room. At first I was just going to go full blown 10, but I was like, and I might come back later and up this score to a 10, but I just feel like I need to see how Crook Manifesto plays out. So I will update you if this score gets updated. But yeah, so the next book is a first in a series, A World Without Heroes by Brandon Mull. I will let you know how it goes. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Whatevs. I'm on social media. BooksMcD, Obvi. Subscribe, comment. Have a great time. Thanks very much. Talk to you later. Bye.